you're going to be using augmented force a lot. Ti farà como dre. So you could have scales like. So you would never hear that in Scottish music, you know.
Because of the instrument, though.
It's not that's bagpipes don't. You know, you could play that on one of these sets of bagpipes, but it's generally not considered the right thing to do.
Okay, so because of the nature of the instrument, the music evolved in a lot of major sounds.
If like this is quite true, but it would be a mistake to think that Scottish music, traditional music, has entirely been dominated by
major sounds.
By the bagpipes.
Oh.
Because there is a very, very strong violin tradition which we call the fiddle. If you're playing, it's the same instrument, but if you're playing folk music, we call it a fiddle. And if you're playing classical music, they call it a violin. And there's also a strong harp tradition. You know, the old harps were quite simple, and then there's a strong tradition there. And so that music allows you to play lots of minor things as well. But and people are beginning to do it in bagpipes. I mean, there's a tune. How's it going? Here's one. Etc. You know, that's and that tune was actually written by my friend Ross's guru because he was a very unconventional piper and was disapproved of by the piping establishment, which is quite conservative in its outlook. You know, it's rather like I go to this Sarod teacher, occasionally, and he's a brilliant guy, and he said to me first, what ragas would you like to learn? And so I suggested Madhuvanti and Cherukeshi and things like that. And he said, oh, these are just modern inventions, you know, they're just, you know, they're not the real thing, you know. So it happens in India as well as in Scotland, that sort of traditional thing. So I mean there, that scale you've got is which is a raga called Basan Bukhari. And if you go to Spanish music, the music of the Moors, which was the Berber people from North Africa who had this sort of empire really in the south. I mean, they'd actually conquered the majority of Spain at one point, and they the scale they brought to Spain was this one, which is Baravi, which is also in the way Phrygian, yeah. And you can immediately hear. etc. But also that what the Spanish do is they very often introduce both the major and minor thirds. So you're getting, and then you come here and you get a scale like jog, which uses the major and minor third together all the time, with a flattened seventh. And that's, of course, very close to the blues, except that it's actually, whereas the blues is, but you can use the two of them together, and it's very well worth kind of looking into that if you're interested in melody. Cherokee is amazing, and it's quite beautiful.